But I want to go back and get an understanding, because you guys have a partnership, and it's really interesting when you have partnerships of how these partnerships start, how they are actually generated. So can you guys kind of just give us an understanding of how did you guys start to come together? You know, what did you first meet, and how did y'all start to draw together to be at the point where now you guys are actually in business together?
Well, so what I can tell you is we start off as the opposite of partners.
What you mean?
We were opponents battling for the number one spot. Okay. So we both started in the engineering program back at Prairie View in 2005 in the summer. So it was a program called the STEM program. And so that's where a bunch of students come in from everywhere, in essence, that are going to be starting in engineering. And they kind of give you a little bit of a head start. So you actually take some classes during the summertime. And what you notice is it gets a little bit competitive. Well, I'm a competitive dude. So, I'm one of the ones flying high, right? And then you got this guy over here. I look back, he back here trying to hang with me, right? So really from the very beginning, it's just always been a battle in every single class. It didn't matter what it was, right? Literally, it did not matter. We're engineering majors. We're competing in speech class. Speech. It did not matter what it was. Like, we going at it and everything, right? I will admit he might have got me in speech. That's the only defeat that I'll admit. But that's it. Everything else I had him. But yeah, man. So that's kind of
so hold on. Did you guys know that y'all were competing though? Was it like an actual thing that, or was it kind of just a figuring out of, man, hold on, he also got this grade? Like, oh no, I can't let him get that. Was it kind of a silent thing, or was it kind of a very well-known out in the front thing?
Boss, 100%. Everybody knew. Everybody was in this thing, and it was kind of egged on to some degree by the professors, right? Because when the professors would grade the tests and different things, they would hand the test out in front of everybody, like one by one. So they were calling out who got the highest grade. You know what I mean? And it's so funny that I remember during the craziest thing, man. All throughout the classes that we all had together, when it came down to take a test, there was one thing that you would listen for as you were taking the test. And you know what that thing was?
What?
Who threw their pencil down on the desk first? Because that let everybody know you were not the first one finished. So just imagine. Just imagine. I mean, literally, I distinctly remember one time we were taking the test, and I can't remember who finished first. It wasn't me. But I remember hearing that noise, and the whole class went, oh, man. The whole class in the middle of the test was like,
wow,
upset that they were not the first ones done. But anyway, so that's kind of how things started. Very competitive initially. And, like I said, we competed in every class. Even in history class, I remember us being in the room, studying history together on the weekends when everybody else in the UC or in the freshman dorms are all outside having a great time hanging out. We looking out the window at everybody just having fun, and we in there reading about Sir Francis Drake and what's going on in Europe back in the 1600s or whatever the case may be. So, so that's just how we were, and that's how we were built. So even though we were competing against each other, we also recognized that there was a commonality there. There was a similarity there, right? And one day we were in chemistry 2, I believe, during the summertime. And of course, we just got a test back, and there was something on the test we didn't agree with that the teacher marked wrong that we felt like was right. And so it's like, I don't care if I got an A or not, we got to have a conversation because I came to win at all costs.
Right.
So we're hanging out at the teacher's office after class, and one of our classmates walks up. Her name is Melissa, And she walked up and in so many words, she ended up telling us that, you know, since we're both smart, we should start a tutoring company and we should call it ShyCour. Because Cecil's last name is Shy, my last name is Dalcour. She was like, we should call it ShyCour. And literally, that is how it all began. Like that was the beginning of it.
She randomly just walked up to y'all and said this.
Yes,
this can't be made up. In your mind, picture two students at PV sitting on the floor outside of the professor's office. You know, it's summertime, and we sitting there just going through problems, and she just so happened to be passing, and literally, yes, that's definitely how it started.
Wow, it's like God ordained that moment, you know what I mean, in time for that to happen. It's so interesting because you guys didn't even come up with the name. It's like somebody just, you know what?
Right.
Y'all should have a company called ShyCour. You know, were y'all at all even thinking about tutoring or doing those things at this time?
Well, I mean, we had already been, I think at this time we had already been tutors for the program. So we were well known as, you know, campus tutors. And then like we were if you have problems, go talk to Dedrick and Cecil. And, you know, we'd even have sessions in conference rooms at PV where people just come in and bring your questions. And we just on the board, Jen, like, you know, we in the class with them, but we up there teaching, you know, we'll go learn it. Then we'll come teach them what we learned.
Wow.
And so, yeah, so like we were, you know, the de facto tutors of the school anyway, kind of thing. But I don't even think we were thinking from a business perspective at the time. At the time, we were just trying to run. You know, we had a mission to show how good, you know, brothers could be, you know, in math and in engineering, you know, any opportunity we had to compete, whether it was with each other or other schools. I mean, we jumped at it, you know, so it was just kind of what we did. Right. So it was funny that I don't think we really didn't have a business mindset at that point.
I got you. Okay. So that's why when she mentioned that to you about starting a company, like starting an actual business, doing what y'all are doing, she must have then saw that y'all was doing it so well then for her to like make that type of, you know what I mean? Like that type of comment about it though. Y'all really must have been jamming it out for real hard. Thanks for watching the Lion and Lambo podcast. We hope this clip has been a huge blessing to you. And we want to remind you that we drop new videos, new podcast episodes every Sunday at 9 o'clock. You can find the full episode by clicking the card up at the top right of this video. If you prefer an audio-only experience, then we want to let you know that we're streaming through every major podcast streaming platform. For the full list, you can go to www.lionandthelambo.com. Until next time, go impact the world.